Welcome everybody to Bitcoin Live on the Sunday, together with Shankar, CEO of Green Earth Blockchain Token. Welcome back, Shankar.
Hi, Nick. Great to be back with you and Bitcoin Live channel, and really happy to be here on a Sunday and share the latest updates with you. And we have several of them today to share.
Yeah, this will be a really cool AMA. I saw a lot of interesting things that you sent me. Can't wait to jump into it. But before we do that, can you tell us a little bit about the crypto industry, how's it doing, and Binance, because there's a lot of stuff going on. And maybe a little bit about Bitcoin and the price.
Yeah, uh, yeah. This last 1 week was quite eventful, and if I just talk about Bitcoin first. uh, Bitcoin has been moving around 37, 38,000, that level. And the interesting thing is that despite the uh, volatility or the news impact from what happened with Binance and CZ, Bitcoin actually went into green. And that tells us the uh, such solid strength that Bitcoin has in terms of its ability to handle any news. And the reason for that is Bitcoin is truly decentralized. The market realizes that SEC can send a letter to CZ and put penalties on him because it's still a centralized project of Binance. Even any project, including our Green Earth blockchain project, is not fully decentralized. We still have people as of today. Maybe in the future we'll all be out, and then there's no one person to actually send a letter to. But till the time there's a blockchain project with a person who is owning that project, and then somebody can put penalties on that project, that is still a centralized project, and that shows the world that what the real advantage of a decentralized project like Bitcoin is. And I think that's a big learning from this week, that those projects, those cryptos, and we keep talking about them, the five cryptos which I think are truly decentralized. We'll cover them in the current slides today. They are there in the slides. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, and SHIB. These are the only five which are passing my criteria of decentralized. No government can send a letter to anyone and they cannot fail.
Well, that's good to know, and that's good for people also to check up on, right? Because if you have a truly decentralized project that is
That's the
valuable
only
in and of
that's the
itself.
only that's the only way to have a safe project. A decentralized without ownership is the only way a crypto can be safe.
Yeah. Well, and you send me a lot of slides, so let's jump into Green Earth blockchain token because there's a ton of updates, I believe.
Yes. So let's start with the. Let's open this. So we'll go with the. So this is our cover slide. And the aim is to bring transparency into the global food supply chain, natural healthcare, and natural resources. So Green Earth is really focused on things that are coming from the nature, whether it is farming, food products, natural products, herbs, all kinds of things which are coming from nature, and they need to be presented and preserved authentically. So I'll just read the disclaimer once because I think this is important in every presentation that we speak. Is that Green Earth blockchain token is a utility token meant specifically for the working of Green Earth blockchain project. The GBT token does not represent any asset or security, and therefore there are no guarantees of any types regarding the token price appreciation over any time frame. And forward-looking statements like goals, projections in this presentation are not guarantees or assurances of any type. I mean, these are things that we are aiming to do, and they are not assurances that we will get there or we will do there, but we have to have a goal to work. So those are being stated. And like any crypto or blockchain project, uh, Green Earth blockchain project also includes technology risk and market risk.
Yes, I mean that's a very wise disclaimer, and I think people should be aware of these things when
Yes.
when they are in crypto in general, right?
Yeah. Okay. And any, in fact, not just crypto, any technology project which
True.
is working with users on a global scale. So coming to the next slide, Ganga project, which is the e-commerce platform that we have built in India, and that is ready to go live. In fact, all the site is entirely ready. It's working. We are waiting for just one final confirmation from the payment gateway provider. Some of the payments are can be done, but the payments directly from debit cards and net banking, or as it's called in India, net banking is directly when you use your bank account to pay. That that particular part is still not completely connected and integrated. So we're waiting for that since last 3 days, and we're hoping that it will be done in the coming week. And the moment we have done that, all payment methods will be active, and people can start using this site and buying the products from the site. So in that sense, we are expecting the users to start coming from this week onwards.
Wow,
That's a,
that looks really
and
nice.
yes, and I've just put a screenshot here, but the URL is gangaprojects.com. We'll share that separately as well. And
I'll
so
link it
yeah,
down below.
yeah, we'll add in the link. Just go to the next slide.
Yep. Here we go.
Yeah, so this is just a screenshot I've taken from the site as it was last night uh, to show the variety of products that are coming on the site. As of now, 90 products are added, and by end of December, 120 products will be added. And out of these
Wow.
120 products, they are coming from three different states in India: MP, UP, and Himachal Pradesh, three states, and they are coming from uh, 7 to 8 self-help groups, which are people who are preparing like the pickles and processed foods using the authentic farm produced products. For example, a group of people who are taking mangoes and preparing the pickle, that's typically called a self-help group. They're all based in rural India and villages, and their products get packaged and then they reach the customers. These are very high quality authentic products which are extremely valuable and appreciated by the people in India, not only within urban centers or metro cities in India, but they also get exported to countries like in US, where a large percentage or large population of Indian people are there. So these are very valuable products, and as Ganga platform takes over, takes on, we will see these kind of products getting a lot of visibility from people worldwide. And one point I would like to note is that for these 120 products that will come on the platform by December ending, we will have about 10 to 12 validators in the picture for these 120 products. And
So the first jobs will be added.
yes, they're already in the picture, and they're all going to be visible one by one as they get added. And our goal is to have 10,000 validators across India when in the Ganga project, which is once pan India or all across India. There are 10,000 blocks, or blocks are basically administrative units of the government, and so we won't have one validator per block.
And there
And
is no other crypto project out there that has something similar like it, right?
no, no. First of all, there are no hybrid projects like this. And secondly, there is no project pan India which is aiming for anything like that. So even for once Ganga project has even at 25 to 30% of the execution of our plan, there will be many companies which are involved in, let's say, e-commerce or various kinds of food or natural product retail that would already not have the kind of reach that we have. So it's in fact it's interesting that when we explain the vision of what we are doing, the people who are most interested in what we are doing are not food product companies but media companies, and they are saying, how can we link with you? So you can imagine what's happening at the vision level, that they are seeing a level of reach that they don't have with them. So
Wow.
so so yeah, uh, so we will
That,
get
that,
there. 10,000 validators for those who are seeing it for the first time in this video. In Green Earth blockchain, a validator is equivalent to a node in a typical blockchain project. Like we have a Bitcoin node. The node has the work of, let's say, the quality control or the authenticity of the blockchain. So they are verifying the transaction. They are confirming a transaction as a node. Uh,
and
and
as a
and
customer, you can also validate the node.
yes, and
Yeah.
here in Greenearth blockchain, the validator is the work is equivalent to a node in a software only blockchain. Here, the validator is a physical human person who is there on the ground, and his work involves validating the quality control of the products that are flowing through his area onto the Greenearth blockchain customers. So he is responsible for ensuring quality control of all aspects from the sourcing, the packaging, whatever is happening. So he is constantly there with everybody who is working towards the production of the food and as it's being shipped or couriered towards customers. And uh, in the current model, and to test the validator, we'll have random samples to be shipped to a lab to test for their quality. But in our vision, we also have the next layer of validation coming, which will be like a validators who will randomly validate the existing validators. So there we go one step towards how Bitcoin does. For example, in Bitcoin, you need for a 99.99% confirmation, you need 6 validations or 6 confirmations, as it's called in Bitcoin. Six
Yeah.
confirmations are required to get 99.99% surety. In our case, because there's no concept of double spending in because this we can have 1,000 bottles of honey going out from the same farm.
Yeah.
So the concept of double spending is not there, but the concept of quality control or authenticity is extremely there. That to say that Bitcoin Cash is not being sent instead of Bitcoin,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is critically required here. So we don't want a lower quality product to go instead of the authentic product, and that is the responsibility of the node to ensure that what is going is indeed the quality that we have mentioned should go through us. So we will have validators, and in a forward scenario down the line, we will also have validators for validators. Like, there can be one validator who can randomly validate 10 validators in his state, like that. Along with, of course, the white paper clearly describes that the random samples will be tested from all producers. So that is one way to ensure that quality controls are maintained, because the authenticity and transparency of the blockchain makes sense as long as quality controls can be ensured, and that's what is at the core. The validators can do most of that because they are on the ground and they are seeing everything on a regular basis. That's their work. So
And they will also receive Green Earth blockchain tokens as a
yeah, they are
gift.
part of the chain. Every transaction, as we will see and I've seen last time, I'll show again today, every transaction has the validator of the transaction with some percentage of tokens that is coming to him. So each
True.
transaction goes that, just like a node will earn something as transaction fees, what we call as network fee.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so the validator also gets a small percentage of the transaction as his fee.
Shall we go to the next slide?
Yeah. So the next slide is taking to the next slide. Yeah. So this is a slide that we have used several times in the past, and this is our uh, progress of the project as we are moving. And currently, we are in the second block where we are working towards a listing of GEBT on other exchanges that is subject to some funds and funding or token sales that we want to have, and and also we will improve the liquidity of the token and get the GBT token listed on coin market cap along with the ranking, because the ranking requires certain minimum threshold of trading volume, and that minimum threshold for GBT is around 250K to 300K USDT per day as of now.
Yeah.
So whenever we reach that volume, which we will reach once the token sales pick up, then we will be in a position to get a ranking. And as of the current price, our ranking will be somewhere around 150 or so in the
Wow.
crypto industry.
That is high.
So yeah, that is around 140, 150. That is the market cap, and that's where the ranking will come.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, so that is the starting point. And from there, depending on how we grow the user base and the project on fundamental basis, we can move forward. There are two
So,
broad scenarios that I want to
yeah,
show in
go on.
this. Is that we have two green lines moving over time between now to December 2030. The lower green line is where the GBT uh, uh, gets a user base of 1 to 3 million users, and in which case we'll get a top 25 rank by user base. and the upper green line is where if things really go as we are expecting, and it's possible because India is a very large base in terms of users. uh, GBT with a 5 to 10 million users can have a top 10 rank in user base. And we have some numbers coming in the forward slides to explain this. Yeah,
Shankar, you once mentioned that you were also thinking or looking at North America to expand there at some point. Is that still on the agenda?
of course, the markets which are there after India to establish the project and the fundamentals in India, because it's a very large market and the need for a project like this is very large. Uh, with a very large rural community which has a lower representation uh, and a lot of middle layers in India, and therefore the products which are authentic uh, either become very expensive due to a lot of middle layers, or products or some products get corrupted to keep their price low.
Yeah,
So whereas the vision of Green Earth blockchain is that authentic products can be affordable when we cut out the middle layers. Okay, so that's
yeah,
the goal, and so we have a big. So in term, like India is a very low hanging fruit and large base of users. That's why we are here. And after that, we have North America. Even before that, we will have the Middle East as a,
yeah,
because they are already importing many of the food products that are there on Ganga Project website from other other sources. So
yeah,
they would be almost like the uh, first set of buyers for whatever we have. In fact, they are already buying what we are selling through some channels, uh, sometimes in bulk, and sometimes they buy from other large suppliers or wholesalers. So Ganga projects could easily expand into the Middle East, but more in Middle East, I expect more as buyers and not as a
yeah,
full
yeah.
ecosystem. But in North America and Europe and South America and also Africa, one by one, it will be country by country because their local regulations have to be met as well. But
And is it then sort of because Middle East would be your first target? Is there like an order in those um, continents that you sort of
yeah, it is
are?
UAE and Saudi Arabia are the two large countries, and both of them are big importers of food products from India. And
Yeah,
Ganga project would meet with our authenticity all their requirements and in fact surpass it. So that's a very strong combination there. But a full scale model implementation like how we're doing in India is possible both in the EU as well as in USA and Canada. Also in countries like Brazil, which I think will be a very good candidate with very similar profile as India, large population, and that South America, but Brazil as well, and even in Africa there will be countries. So it all depends on how the adoption happens here, and then one by one, there were already several emails we got from people in Africa saying, "How do we get this started in our country?"
oh,
And the thing is that we cannot start that till we have the entire setup ready of people who can act as validators, and there are other components of the project as well. So they all have to be in place for quality control before we can even make the first product ready for green earth in that country.
yeah. And for example, in Europe, you also have a lot of regulation, probably the most regulation of any place. So that
But
would
that's
also
fine. I
fit.
think
Yeah,
that's good. We can. I have already gone through them. That's possible for green earth to meet. It's not none of them is difficult. In fact, the thing is that in Europe, because of its let's say the good regulations, already the some of the corruption is already lower than other parts of the world, and therefore the
true.
incremental benefit that green earth will bring by removing middle layers is a bit less. It doesn't mean it's not there, and therefore we come a bit later here.
Yeah, makes sense.
Developing countries as well as the countries like USA, they are very strong candidates.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, it sounds amazing, and I can't wait.
yeah,
You want to stick to this plate, or shall we move to the next one?
yeah. Next one.
Okay, I'm gonna put it up
Uh,
right now.
Yeah, this is just a simple chart to tell people who have been with us how the token is moving. The token, as you can see, has been broadly in a band of 1 USDT to 1.3 USDT, and last few days or last few weeks have been volatile. I think with news flow in the market up and down, but the price keeps holding up because we've never sold the token to anyone below 1 USDT, and that's why there's no seller below that price at below 1 USDT, and that's the floor price. And you can also see that this chart is telling us that the people are waiting for the projects to go live and see how things play out. So we expect some of these charts to start moving and being different in the next few months as projects go live and actual user feedbacks come and investors start participating in a bigger way. So as of now, it's a chart which is telling us that we are waiting for things to progress. Next slide. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now this is where we talked about the user base in the previous slide, and this is where it continues. See, uh, we have listed 10 crypto projects in this slide and in two groups. And this is exactly how we see it in our mind and vision. Group one is truly decentralized. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, and SHIB. These are projects without any identifiable owner, and they they are not having any group or any individual or entity that can be asked to shut down, and hence
Mhm.
these are extremely safe and strong projects. However, we are not in this group as a project which is driven both on the blockchain and on the physical ground. So therefore we are still a human project which is using blockchain,
That's
and which is the group two.
that's not a hybrid.
Yes. So that so these are what we call as the high quality projects which are actually having some use cases, fundamental use cases, and people are adopting these projects for their benefits. So there we have linked 5 projects which we find as very interesting and fundamentally good. BNB, Polygon, Chainlink, Cardano, and Algorand. I mean, one can always say that there are 5 other projects are doing, but for the sake of study and reference, we have listed these. Okay, let's go to the next slide.
Mhm. Yes. I'm gonna jump right over. Yes.
Okay, now this is a snapshot, this slide, of the same 10 cryptos that we talked on the previous slide, 5 plus 5, group 1, group 2, a
Yep.
snapshot of the number of wallets with wallet addresses with more than 0 tokens, means a non-zero, like something
Wow.
positive. And
It's interesting.
you would see that this is as of yesterday night. Okay, now you will
Mhm.
see that the picture is very confusing here, and we'll refine the picture in the next slide. Here, you would think that Bitcoin is the largest user base, and it's at 50.7 million, whereas you
Yep.
have BNB at 402 million, Polygon at 386 million, and Ethereum at 250 million. And
Yep.
the fact is that these are not human users, these are NFT wallets for NFT addresses. And that is why you have so the NFT blockchain projects, including Algorand. So 4 of them in out of these 10 are NFT intensive projects, and they have so BNB, Polygon, Algorand, and Ethereum, and the wallet addresses which are having a non-zero or positive quantity in them are all uh, majority NFTs there. It's like the NFTs which I remember in the last 3 years, there were scripts which were producing thousands of NFTs per day or 10,000 NFTs a day, like that, and getting loaded on OpenSea and all those platforms. These are the numbers. So these are not users. They so uh, that is why just taking the number of wallet
But
addresses is going to give a very wrong conclusion of what is a user base. So let's go to the
but
next
of
slide.
course, with the ordinals, that phenomenon is also coming to Bitcoin, right? And could you also sort of then infer that that's a positive about NFTs or a negative, right? I mean, when you look at it purely as, from an
No,
NFT
we
perspective.
have nothing positive or negative on NFTs. All we're saying is that looking at wallet addresses is a wrong way of assuming user
Yeah,
base.
yeah.
Okay,
Let's go to the
so go to
next
the
one.
next slide, and this is where we refine the information. Okay, and now it is the users that we think are actually there. Okay, in Bitcoin it remains what it is, so it's 50.7 million. Ethereum is actually
Wow.
around 10 million users. Okay, not 250 million. And Litecoin is what it was, 9.3, Dogecoin 5.3 as it was in the previous slide, SHIB as it was 1.3. And in the other projects, BNB, it's not 402, it's around 5 million.
Wow.
And Polygon is not around that 286. What was the number? 386. It's not 386, it's 3. Okay. Algorand is not 34, but 2. And Cardano remains what it was, 3.5 million, and Chainlink remains what it was, 0.7 million. So this slide is useful because it tells you what are the user bases actually like. And
But just for clarity's sake, so what you did is you subtracted the wallets with purely NFTs in them. Is that what I
there is
understand?
there is there is there is no exact formula to do it. It is something that we have checked within our team, and this is our estimate based on our studies.
Okay. Yeah. Because
Because
you could argue.
there is no formula to
Yeah.
easily subtract that
Yeah.
NFT addresses and actually users, because it's very difficult. But
Yeah.
this is the estimate.
I mean, some NFT users or projects would argue, of course, that NFTs are also, using the blockchain in a productive fashion.
Oh, we are not saying that
Yeah.
they are not using it correct. All we're saying is that these
Yeah.
are these actual users or just
Yeah.
the difference between, it's a difference between a human user and a bot almost.
Yeah. Okay. So you're subtracting the bots. Okay. Check. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
uh, and so therefore this is the picture, and I think this picture is interesting. We go back to the previous slide, it's not over.
I'm gonna see if I can go back. Oh shit. Wait. I have to click it away. My apologies.
Mhm.
I have to. That's one of the. Yes, I have to. There we go. And I got it here. Yes. There we go. Yep.
Yeah. So so this tells us, this slide tells us that Bitcoin is a very strong market leader, way ahead of all other crypto projects in terms of its user base and adoption. And what we have seen is that Litecoin has moved from about 5 million users 3 years back to 9.3. So Litecoin has done a very clean and neat improvement from 5 to 9.3. So this is, it was 6 around 2 years ago. So it's moving very nicely now. That's a one. And Dogecoin also was around 3 million 3 years ago in 2020, 21, 20, and now it's around 5.3. It's also moving. Okay. And same for SHIB, but not as much as the other three that we talked. And the so that is one thing, that the core strong decentralized projects are all gradually adding and improving around 20-25% per year in user base, which is very positive for the entire crypto industry as a message. And GEBT, which is our project and our token, our goal, based on the visibility of what the project can do on the ground, is 5 to 10 million users. And that is something which will happen if the project works out in whatever way we have planned it to. And if we do that, then this project, now of course these numbers will also move ahead the other projects, but we'll still be in a position to come there in the top 25 or top 10 projects by user base. And that's our goal, to be there in the top 10 projects by user base. The market cap that comes along with that user base is not really in our control. Sometimes projects get higher valuation for whatever user base they have, sometimes they have less. That part is not in our control, but to get the users to adopt our system and to show them the benefits of what we're doing, and take it forward to the groups of people that are the right audience and right customers for this project, that is in our control. And so we will be working towards that. So the goal is to get this kind of a user base, which is 5 to 10 million, and that is possible. uh, the aim is to do that in the next 5 to 10 years, and that is the kind of time frames we have put. It could happen faster, could happen slower, depending on the kind of funds we get to do that ground level work. Our first goal is to get 100,000 users, which is very much in our control currently, once we start going live. And then 1 million users. At 1 million users, we'll already be ahead of most other crypto projects, and we'll be, I think, in top 50 for sure in terms of
And
user
of course,
base.
also in the growth rate, right? That would imply a very high growth rate of GBT token in compared to other projects.
We cannot predict. You mean in terms of price?
No, I mean in adoption levels,
Yes, of
purely in
course. Because
yeah,
yeah, because if we are starting from a base of around
yeah,
1980 or just around 2000 users today, which is just bare minimum, and we're talking
yeah,
about going to 100K,
yeah.
and by that time people start getting aware, and then towards 1 million, both 100K and users and 1 million users are in our visibility, and we will definitely aim to achieve them. After that depends on how the project progresses, and based on the large uh, large user base potential in India, these numbers are not large when you think of in India context. Just
Sure,
these
sure.
are, yeah,
Can I ask one more question about
yeah. Go
this
ahead, go ahead.
particular slide?
Yeah,
So you sort of mentioned that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and SHIB have a sort of a healthy growth each year. But
mm.
you also named these five others: BNB, Polygon, Algorand, and Cardano and Chainlink. Do they also have a similar growth rate as the
No,
previous five, or
no, no.
is
Their
that what?
growth rates are slower than the decentralized, and that's the point I wanted to make. That the growth rate of user base is far more attractive in the decentralized projects, and that
Okay,
tells us that the crypto users are, or investors are seeing that the safety and strength lies in the decentralized project, and I'm very happy about that.
okay, yeah, check. So next
Yeah,
slide.
yeah. So this is a key slide, as in a key news update. Till yesterday, 25th November, we had the following token distribution plan for GEPT, which was users 50%, community 10%, investors 20%, founders 20%, and a total of 100%. And from today, the next slide,
Yes.
from today, which is 26th November, the token distribution plan is getting revised, and the same thing will be reflected on the website, white paper, everywhere. Is this where users will have 70% of the tokens, community remains same, so that's an equal sign, investors down from 20 to 10, founders down from 20 to 10, and total 100. So what we are saying is that the previous slides that we talked about, the user base that we are aiming for to be there in the top 10 user base, we want to allocate more and more tokens towards the user group, because that is what is very critical for the success of the project and for the foundation. What we also figured out that the founders and investors do not need as many tokens as we initially thought, and therefore those also can be, so we have cut them half and sent those also to the user group. So the users is what will make the project truly decentralized. And if you think in technical terms, a truly decentralized project is 100% users. There is no founders group, community, investors, nothing. It's 100% users, 100%. So we are moving towards that. It's possible that after we get some token sales, we may cut this down further down. The investors may just be 5% instead of 10, and we say this is enough. And even those get moved into users. So the users is where the biggest block of tokens is there. And users means what? Those tokens get released only through the e-commerce transactions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
only by an active transaction, the token gets released.
So you're trying to create a flying wheel, and then you wither down sort of the component of the project.
Yes, and the aim is to have a maximum component for users. And at this point, 70% is users is a much more fundamentally strong number based on what we think. Uh, so this is the awareness and realization as we are moving here, that how much do we need to keep for other three groups. Community we kept same because we do see the need to give tokens to many people worldwide who will be participating to move the project forward through their social media efforts, through their seminars. For example, the simplest example is this, Nick, that suppose tomorrow you hold a seminar, let's say in your city, and you invite 100 people to come physically for the seminar, and you talk to them about GBT and give a presentation, and you will give 10 GBT to everybody who comes. So we will fund that like that. Okay, so those kind of things are community building efforts, and they need that that group, or let's say a bucket of
Yeah.
tokens for the project advancement. And if you think about it, all those tokens will be very much earned. There'll be effort. Instead of a transaction, an e-commerce transaction giving a payment to us, the community efforts will be coming through effort, and that's equally good, and is required for the project to go forward. So if
Yeah.
you think of that way, investors also will be paying for the token buying, and founders are working all the time for the project. So in that sense, the each of the tokens is coming through somebody working or somebody paying. They will be there will be no oversupply of tokens at any point, because they would have come only with some specific effort.
Yeah. Yeah, but you need to first get the adoption and the flywheel going,
Yes,
and then
yes, and that's why the first goal is to get 100,000 users, which is
yeah,
the first. The moment we get 100,000 users, the project would have already established itself
live
as a
for.
fundamentally good project. And at 100,000 users, you're already ahead of a vast majority of, let's say, you're already in the top 500 to an extent in terms of user
Yeah,
base, easily. And then you start moving
and
forward at what? Yeah.
in that sense, you could also say that the competition is heating up in crypto, because projects like yours are really sort of putting on the heat to other projects that are not doing anything.
Yeah, that is there. But I think that's true in any technology, whether we talk about AI, blockchain, anything. Uh, the usage will happen, and the way I see it is that if we were not doing Green Earth, somebody else will be doing this, because the
True.
need for this is there, and somebody has to come and take that to apply the blockchain on that particular space where uh, what is coming from nature as food, healthcare products, herbs, those get uh, authentically collected and then taken forward without any, let's say, corruption or any kind of compromise,
Can
and
I
then
also
show
ask?
the whole thing on blockchain.
Can I ask another question, which is sort of related to what you just said? Many people, when they think about sort of supply chain tokens that are connected to supply chain, I mean, Green Earth is way more than that, but the image that comes to mind, or the name, is often fee chain. Well, is that sort of like, is there anything there behind fee chain, or is there, do you want to comment on that, or?
No, I think it's not much related. So what we are doing here is we have checked. There is no comparable project to this one as of now, and
Sure.
that is why and the market in India is so large that once we start acting out, the numbers will start showing, and then we can take it step by step.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
VJN is not focused on agriculture or on organic food, or anything
yeah.
of this matter,
We
right?
are we are agriculture, or organic food, natural herbs, which are
Yeah,
used for lots of alternative medicine, and also various natural products. For example, you will have products which are coming for from the nature, but not necessarily food products. They may go in other cosmetics, for example, herbal products, uh, soaps. They're also part of greener blockchain.
that's very interesting. Shall we go to the next slide?
Yeah, the next slide is the disclaimer again, and I think we just covered that, but I'll just repeat for the sake of people. The Greener blockchain token is a utility token, and it's meant for the working of the project. So it's not a it's not a coin meant for any investment. The GBD token does not represent any asset or security, and there are no guarantees regarding token price in any time frame. So we did talk about
Yeah.
goals, projections, user base growth.
Yeah.
These are forward-looking statements, and they are not any guarantees. They We are aiming to work and achieve them, but we can't guarantee any of that. And like we keep discussing, technology risk and market risk are involved.
And
And
also, I want to add to that, videos like these are educational and these are not financial
yeah,
advisements. It's
and let's take
yeah,
2 minutes
always
now,
your
Nick.
own risk.
Yeah, let's take 2 minutes to
Yeah.
see the actual Ganga project website. I got some links for you. Just open
Yes.
the links I shared with you.
Gonna open them now.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see. I got it. My apologies. I must have closed it. Sorry.
It's the Twitter message.
I got it in the DM. My computer's acting a little bit funny.
Shall I resend them?
No, I got it. I got it. It must have closed for some reason. There we go. Yep.
Yeah. So
it's on the screen.
Yeah. So this is an example of how Ganga project would be working with farmers from remote corners of India. So this is a village in the northern India called Himachal Pradesh. It's a state, and this village is called Hango village. And this produces very high quality apples in near the Himalayas. And as you can see, it's the photo. It's like apples and a lot of Himalayas at the background. And this is real. And these are our farmers. And so it's from people like them that we procure our food products, which are very authentic, and we try to use as natural packaging to get them to the cities. Nick, can you just scroll to the other photos of this listing? Yeah, the arrow. So this is how the apples are, and these are the farmers, and that's their village with the background of the Himalayas. And these are the
Wow.
farmers in their. The last photo is the farmers in their house.
So these are the actual people who are
Yeah,
doing,
yeah,
who are plucking the apples and
yeah. They are
bringing
the
them to
farmers of
market.
the village, and they are the ones who are a part of Ganga project.
Wow.
Okay,
That's super cool that you can actually see the people
yeah,
themselves.
and there would be a validator as well from the same village or same district in nearby to them. And as you can see, it's people like these that so if you go back to that photo, just that one, these the people, the last photo,
Oh,
yeah,
this one
the
or the
last
last?
one in the house, yeah, this
Yep.
one. So these farmers will be receiving GBT tokens. So that's the message I want to give you. It's very powerful.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I see there's a lot more information on this
Yeah,
page.
so yeah, we'll go there as well, but it takes a minute to sink that in,
Yeah.
that these people in the Himalayan village, they have not seen anything other than fiat in their life. Don't even know digital currency, and they will be getting GBT tokens for their work. They don't even know how to use them or what to do with them. But the fact is that they will be receiving it in addition to whatever they are getting as payment for their fruits, for producing their fruits and taking care of their apple trees in the best possible way. They are doing it as correctly as possible, and we are rewarding them for that to participate with us. And they'll get small amount of tokens, and hopefully, in 3-4 years, they'll have enough tokens to have a sizable quantity of fiat.
Yeah, and I think we also talked about it in one of our previous shows, or a couple of them, that this will also be their first
Crypto.
sort of crypto.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that it's not just first crypto. They don't have anything else digital in terms of exposure. So first crypto, and maybe the very first crypto, everything regarding blockchain or anything Web3, whatever. So
Yeah, That's very powerful,
And
right?
exactly, so for them,
Yeah.
they would have fiat, which is Indian rupees, and then they would have GBT. So for many of these farmers like this across India, GBT is their first crypto, which is like how it was like with Bitcoin for the people across world.
And of course, that's very good for GBT, but it's also good for crypto itself, right?
Yes.
Because once they get to know GBT, they can also sort of say, hey, there's also Bitcoin, there's also Ethereum, there's also SHIB, etc.
Yeah, though I doubt that they have that kind of disposable income to go into these or any, let's say, mindset, because they are focused on doing their farming work correctly, and they don't have that kind of income to go into understanding these or buying these. So I think, but they would be very happy to have something given to them as a reward, because GBT is going to go to them as a reward. And if you just scroll down the page, you will see the blockchain behind these Apple farmers and Apple products. Go down. Yeah, product blockchain is
Yes.
there. So uh, in this case, uh, as of now, the validator is Sandeep Saxena, our co-founder himself, because he's the one who got them on board. But this is just temporary. In the next few weeks, we'll have a local person appointed to act as a validator. Okay, but as of now, it is Sandeep himself who has validated their work and farms, and hence he is the validator. The main thing I want to show you is the next one, which is the FPO, the farm processing organization, uh, or the farm itself. The farmers, the people that we saw in the house, they they are the farmers, and they get 74% of the transaction. So for
Wow.
example,
Yeah.
if you were to buy, let's say, Apple worth, let's say, 20 euros, okay, uh,
Hmm.
74% of that is going to them. This is what it says. Okay.
Yeah, and that's where it should go, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing is, it doesn't go like that in physical, in current state. It's around 50%, or sometimes even 40%.
Wow.
The middlemen are taking around 30-40% as of now. And
Wow.
uh,
That's a big improvement.
yeah, it's a big improvement. And this is also the ratio. This is also the ratio in which the tokens will get distributed. So,
Yeah.
so if Green Earth is going to give, let's say, 2 GBT for a given transaction, they'll get 74% of that as well. That will be their reward for participating in this chain.
Yeah.
Because they are participating in the chain, they are open to validation, they are open for inspections and quality control, which is what we
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we have these different, and a marketing unit. A marketing unit, I'll just explain what it is. A marketing unit is basically aimed for label printing, regulatory approvals. For example, it won't apply much on this case because it's not a processed food, or a pickle or jams or juices, but label printing will still be required to send them for shipping. And then marketing unit will also take care of the tax and accounting of the sales on behalf of the farmers, because they are not well versed in that. So that marketing unit is involved in doing the things from the e-commerce and sales perspective, for the farmers, and that's why it is there. The next is a project unit. A project unit is basically a local admin body which is involved in local events and community building efforts on the ground level. And so the
Hmm.
project unit will be there. We anticipate about 100 to 200 units across India, and the project units will be appointing the validators for for different regions and villages, and they'll be in charge of community building efforts on the ground level. So they will be holding events like I told you about. Like suppose you hold an
Yeah.
event and bring people, and we'll give GBT for everybody who comes. So we'll be helping them in the community building efforts as well. And these project units are run by independent professionals and people. They are not employees of any company, so they are independent, and hence they are completely dedicated for the cause, and they are volunteer to be that role on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And of course, you will also keep an eye out if they're doing their job
yeah,
properly.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so, but the validators of the entire area will be reporting to the project unit, and the project unit is responsible for appointing and the operations of validators. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's almost like the level of observation of the nodes, of a set of nodes. And then we have a beneficiary rep, which is 3%. Beneficiary rep is a specific role we have given for each transaction. These are people who are handicapped and economically weaker, and in many cases they are also socially extremely socially weak, or also from the very fringes of the society where they don't have access to regular, for whatever backgrounds they have, they don't have access to education or work much. But they are working and they get low quality or low income jobs, part-time jobs. However, they are there, and because of their handicap or whatever, and therefore we are involving all of them, uh, and they are involved in spreading the message of Ganga project in their entire network, in their village, in their town. And so from each transaction, we will be giving them about 3% to reward their efforts, because they are joining us in different parts of India, and they are spreading the message of Ganga project. So they are almost like ambassadors for the project, ongoing basis. And then the last is
Makes
Ganga
sense.
Ganga project, which is 10% in this particular case. So that's how you can see
Yeah.
that who are the people who are benefiting and how much is getting. Uh, this kind of a breakdown of who is getting how much in a given sale is never visible. Even Amazon will not show you this. Nobody will show you. And that's the start we want to make. That not I mean not just the blockchain which is recording everything. We're also showing that transparently before it goes to the blockchain. That so Ganga project, which is our on the ground entity of Winner blockchain, aims to show transparently who is getting how much in a given transaction. And that was not available till
Yeah.
now. Now the farmers, for example, these apple farmers are getting 74%. The neighboring village, which is also producing apples, they may ask their wholesale buyers that, how much, what percentage are we getting? And they will probably get the answer like 40%. And they'll say, even we want to go and sell to Ganga project because we are also producing similar ones. Why should we sell to you? Like that.
Yeah. 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 Because it makes it all transparent. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a very big value in
This is
this.
like the true application.
Yeah, and this is actually something that's happening for the first time in India and in the world. I have not seen these kind of breakups being posted on any e-commerce site anywhere.
Yeah, and I have to say it also looks very easy to understand. It's very
Hmm.
accessible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you go down the page, I'll just take another minute. The
Yep.
If you go down further to testimonials, remember last time we had faces, random like dummy faces. Now it's properly done. We have actual products and their testimonials. So
I see. Yeah.
so we will keep adding
Very
them.
nice.
We'll also have videos coming in the next month or 2 months. New videos will come from actual users about their experiences. All of that will keep adding on the site.
Wow, Shankar, that was a tour de force. But congratulations on these achievements and how far it has come already. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
amazing.
yeah. So
It's very comprehensive, and I think we almost covered. I think we covered everything, right?
yeah, we have covered the entire content today. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was a bit longer than usual, and but it was full of very important information, and I think people have a very good understanding now where you're going with the project, and what it looks like, and how easy it is to get involved, and also how to use it. Maybe that's perhaps a thing that we can sort of still highlight how people can get involved with Green Earth blockchain token if they're interested.
Well, they can contact us, and based on their location, I think if they are based in India, they can actually participate in some of the roles that are on the ground within the organization, either as a validator or a project unit overseer. And if they're outside India, then they can participate as one of our associates who is working towards, or as a community member who is let's say, working to share the message of Green Earth blockchain everywhere through social media. We'll have roles for different people. So I think the best way to do is contact us and tell about where you are and what you can do, and we'll see how we can involve you with whatever time and skill you have.
And of course, follow Green Earth Blockchain Token on Twitter,
Yeah,
which is Green Earth and then underscore AI.
yeah.
And I'll also link it down below in the video, of course, so for people to check it out. I advise to check this out because this project is quite revolutionary. There's nothing else like it, as far as I know, and I love it personally. Like I said, it's not investment advice or financial advice, but I love it.
Thanks, Nick.
So Shankar, I want to thank you for coming back on the show, and I can't wait for the next update on the project and see what is going on around that time.
Thank you very much, Nick, and thanks to everyone for watching. On behalf of everybody in on Green Earth Blockchain and Ganga Project team on the ground, thank you for watching this video. Thank you.
And with that, we say goodbye.
Yeah,
Take
bye.
care,
Bye.
and see you soon.